You might have noticed three things about the results section in articles you've looked at. First, they're all a little different. Second, even though they're different, they have several things in common. And third, tables can be helpful. Thinking about those three ideas gives us a way to approach the results section for our paper. Why is each article a little different? Obviously, it's partially because different authors have different styles, but the other reason is because they are unique to the purpose of the article. In the case of our project, and frequency claims in general, we're describing a variable. That means we won't have inferential statistics and report significance values, but we will be more detailed with the descriptive information. That detail will include not only means and standard deviations, but also frequencies, like we talked about when we learned about interpreting the results. It's important to note that the information isn't just thrown out there or placed in alphabetical order by variable name. It's presented in a logical sequence to provide perspective. That logic will most likely be based on the numbers, such as presenting the highest means first. There are three common components in results sections. We typically state the question or hypothesis being addressed. We also used what's called statistical notation in reporting the results of the analysis. That means we use particular abbreviations for particular statistics and format them in specific ways. For the purpose of the frequency project, you'll need to note the statistical notation for mean, standard deviation, and the number in the analysis. But we use words, too. It only seems like results sections are no more than a mishmash of hieroglyphic-looking statistical symbols. It can also be helpful to include a brief explanation for how you computed the scores for analysis. For example, for the short grit scale, we would explain that the responses for the 4 items in each scale were added to obtain the scale score, making 4 the lowest possible score and 20 the highest possible score. Statistical notation works sort of like the citation formatting. It's a little different depending on whether we're using the numbers as part of the text or to support something we said. I'll show you an example of the difference in a minute, but I want to make sure to explain the formatting for when we're using statistics to support something we say, also known as parenthetical use. In that case, we abbreviate the statistics and italicize the abbreviation. So we used an italicized M for mean and an italicized SD for standard deviation. We typically provide the number of participants in parentheses rather than as part of the text, and we use an italicized N to note that. When we have more than one statistic, we use one set of parentheses with a comma between. Please pause the video to review this example. In some cases, reporting all of the results in the text would be overwhelming and take away from the meaning. That's when tables come in handy. In those cases, we still highlight key points in the text, perhaps the highest and lowest scores, and then direct the reader to the table for the remaining information. Note that APA style has particular guidelines for tables, and they're not the same as the tables in your SPSS output. The manuscript template includes an example. Note that the tables are numbered and included a title. They are formatted with horizontal lines, but only to emphasize the labels for columns. APA style does not use vertical lines. The results section can be somewhat simple to write when we use the common components as an outline. State the question, explain the scoring, give the results in words and numbers, and sometimes use tables. That even helps us think about what we're trying to communicate, given that it begins with the question that is the focus.